forgot what I was going to say. Quick disclaimer. This was done over Zoom. So the production value is going to be a bit compared to previous videos. However, we had a nice chat regardless. Spoke to Josh from Palm Reader about releasing a new album. Probably one of my favourite albums of the year. Sleepless. Releasing it during the middle of a pandemic and how the band have been going for 10 years now. Yeah, we had a great chat. So I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to cue the video. So,
hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It has been a very long time, but we're sat here with Josh from Palm Reader. How are you doing, mate?
Not doing too bad.
How's life? I'm gonna try and talk very little about coronavirus as much as possible. Every band's spoken about it to death, and I can't be fucked to talk about it. But we have to touch upon it a little bit. But I want to start off by just going back to March, because that was when I last saw you guys on the Employed to Serve tour. I was at the Nottingham date as well, which is like basically like hometown show for you guys. Well, most of you. You're not all from Nottingham, are you?
No, well, I mean, originally we're from Woking, but we all moved up about sort of five or 6 years ago now.
Yeah, because I remember in that show, so when Employed to Serve came on, Simon was like, oh yeah, shout out Palm Reader. And he was all like, they're not from Nottingham, Woking, like know your roots and shit like that. And I was just like...
Well, we still very much bang on about Woking. I think the town name was simply put up at the end of our live stream, Sleepless release live stream. Just the word Woking right at the end.
We're
proud of it.
Yeah, we will touch up on that like in a bit. But yeah, let's bang this COVID shit out of the way. How have you been keeping in all of this?
I've been all right, man. Yeah, as good as things can be. You know, I don't really have anything to complain about. I was furloughed, which was pretty sweet. I don't know if sweet's the right word.
I mean, I guess it's money from the government, but it's like not claiming benefits. Yeah, it's free money from the government, but you can still technically say you're employed. So
yeah,
that's kind of...
it's been a very odd year, but like I've been good, and so like all work aside, I've been good just because we've been busy.
Yeah,
we've been preparing for the release, and like I was saying to you before we started the interview, I've spent my life on Zoom this year.
Yeah, every band has, but you don't have to go into too much detail on it, but because obviously, you know, you guys recorded the album and all that, getting ready for the release, pandemic hits. How much shit did you have to cancel or postpone or whatever?
We really didn't have to cancel them again. Like we've lucked out quite, like as a band. I've lucked out personally as well this year, realistically in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, we weren't planning on really playing that many shows this year. So it was kind of as like a build up to the release, and then the pandemic hit, and everyone was taking the year off essentially, or forced to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we were buckling down. We were all systems go on Sleepless, behind the scenes and getting stuff ready for that. Yeah, I don't know. I think my year would have been fairly similar. It was just that I couldn't go places and do things to get this kind of stuff done. Like music videos and stuff like that.
So like, how's it been? Like, you're one of the very few bands that have like just decided to say, fuck it. We've spent however long getting this material ready. It needs to be seen. It needs to see the light of day. So how's it like, you know, how's it felt, you know, like actually releasing, like not even just like an EP, like it's a full body of work, like a full album, like during a pandemic?
It's odd. I mean, this is the fourth time we've released a full length now, and it's I mean, it feels strange to say that in itself.
Yeah.
Like we hit our 10-year mark. We released our fourth album, but this one feels completely different. In a few ways, not just because of the pandemic, but also because of how well received it's been, and how like we feel like we've done a lot to like make this album everything it could possibly be, even not just through the creative side of things, but through the release as well. And it's this time round, it's very positive.
Like, yeah, going back to like, yeah, you've released 4 albums, and I was thinking about this like when you guys first announced Sleepless as well. It feels longer than like 2 years since Braille came out. Like it really does. I thought that album was like 3-4 years old, not gonna lie. It just honestly it felt like ages since you guys like, you know, put something out. And like it's not like you weren't touring it. Like you played like more than enough shows to like sort of like support the release. But like
Yeah,
when you announced the album, I was like, oh fucking hell, Palm Reader's coming out with another album.
yeah. I mean, I think it always is like so many bands are releasing albums, like the rate at which music is like digested these days or is so quick that it can feel like even after just a year or so, it can feel like it's been a very long time since the last time you heard something from that band, because God knows how many artists have released stuff in between. I think that's, for me anyway, that's the way I feel. I'm like, holy shit, so-and-so just released an album and it was like a year to 2 years after the last one. It feels like you say.
You're totally right, because like obviously we're in like, you know, we're in the digital age, streaming's the shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's just like,
oh, we're in it, buddy.
Everyone's just trying to bang out as much content as possible. It's like, we've wrote a song, let's record it, let's get it out straight away. So it's like it's
singles
good.
Market.
Exactly. But like you guys are like pretty much, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but from an outsider's perspective, it's like you're just like against the norm almost. Like Bird and Its Feathers, that's like one of the main singles of the album. The song's 6 minutes long. Like who the fuck is releasing a 6-minute single? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess. Yeah, we're not ones for following that kind of that template.
No, but it's good though, because like people like me are gonna turn around like, really, they're releasing a 6-minute song as a single. It's like, slaps,
we're kind of just
like
we're trying to do whatever the fuck we want, you know. And that is as like blunt as that sounds. That's not supposed to be like, yeah, we're just doing whatever the fuck we want. It's like, that's generally like from the start. It's always been that way. It's always we're putting out the songs we want to put out, and if it's a 6-minute song and it sounds good enough to be a single, then we're gonna fucking release it, you know.
Exactly.
Like don't get me wrong, we've shortened some singles in the past and done bits and pieces, but yeah, fuck it, you know.
I feel like
we think the song flies without any need to take anything off it, so fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, and I really like going with the whole do whatever the fuck you want. Like each album of yours has truly just been like, it really, each record just sounds like a completely different band. So it's like if I were to like just recommend like someone your band, it's like, oh yeah, what do they sound like? Where do I start? It's like, oh fucking hell, I don't know how long you got. Like it's like, just because it's so like different. But like Sleepless so far, like it's probably the most different it's like ever sounded. You've like each album's always like had like elements of the last one, and this one just feels like, if I was to pigeonhole it, which I don't like doing, but like going back to, if I had to recommend it to someone, it'd be like, this one feels like a little more proggy. Would you say that? Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of like putting labels on it, like proggy would make sense, like for aspects of it, but it dives so far into different directions throughout the record, like just throughout songs, let alone the records. It's kind of, I think we've again gone out of our way to do what we want to do, which isn't necessarily easy to pigeonhole, I guess.
Yeah, but
I like that. Like I'm a fan of that. I like not being able to describe bands to people and just being like, you just got to fucking listen to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking listen to it. Shut up. Stop asking me if it sounds like Metallica or not. I don't give a fuck. Listen to it.
Well, fucking fuck Metallica anyway. Like,
I'm coming across as really impatient on this.
No, I'm the same. I'm literally the same. Like, but like, I think the main difference I really noticed though in like Sleepless was, it just felt a little less chaotic, if that makes sense. Like I'm comparing it to like, I'm here comparing it to like the older stuff though. Like at this point, like, you know, like Bad Weather and like Ones Beside Us, like that kind of shit. And like, obviously, as bands get older, they'll, you know, mature in sound, if you want to say that. But
we just got fat. We can't keep up. That's all it is. No, I'm joking.
you can't be like spin kicking anyone anymore.
No. God damn.
But was that like a conscious decision to like tone things down a little bit, just to like, well, guys, let's just take a breather. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it was, but I don't think it was. We definitely did make a conscious decision to like, I guess, take the foot off the gas a little bit, but it was only for the sake of creating space in the songs and opening up the songs a bit more, making it all a bit more expansive. Because when it's all just sort of everything as loud as possible all at the same time, it can be quite chaotic and almost like claustrophobic.
It's like, even though it does have its moments, it's not all just fucking like riff. Like
yeah. We wanted to like ebb and flow, you know, like open up songs, make them smaller, bigger in certain aspects, and slowing down and thinking about things and not just sort of attacking everything at like full force for the entire duration of a song. Is like it really helps. It makes the heavy bits heavier and the light bits lighter, sort of thing. It's fuck. It's the dynamics of the record really shine through that way.
Yeah, I feel that that's like, it's bang on. Like, again, as an outsider, like listening in, it's like it just makes those moments just seem like 10 times bigger. You know, they're like big moments, but because like you've had that like that build up to it, it's just like when it hits you, it hits you. Like,
yeah. Nice. Well, I'm glad it's hitting you. Fuck.
But I refer to my notes. Very professional of me.
Sorry.
But how long has this record actually been in the works? Because obviously, 2 years since Braille came out, and you did like talk quite a bit on it. Was it like you finished Braille back in your little hobbit holes, like writing away, or was it just like how was that?
We definitely took a bit of a break after Braille. We didn't go straight into writing again. We always tend to take a little bit of a break afterwards because it's just so fucking intense to like after writing and recording an album, let alone releasing it. Like the last thing you want to do is think about like creating more. Well, for us anyway. Like, but it was. I mean, I think was it sort of April time last year we started really digging into the writing. Like sending demos back and forth between me and Andy. And just sort of getting bits together, and we felt like we had loads of time. The idea was basically to have it all done and ready by the end of the year, and then track it in January of this year. But the closer we got to Christmas, the more we realized that we didn't have a fucking album ready yet. So it was an intense end of 2019 for me.
Okay.
But we got it done, and like it was not skin of our teeth, but we've always done that. We've always been quite picky with the way we do things, so they tend to take a little bit longer. I don't know if perfectionist is the word or just like fucking neurotic.
No, it's like good to think that way though, because at the end of the day, like you are your own biggest critic. So if it's not fully hitting with you, it's like how the fuck is anyone else going to like it? You know?
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, to be fair, that's probably a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, but how much? Because obviously the material is very it's very delicate. You know, you can obviously tell like there's so much that goes into the songs, and the fact like going back to like some of the songs are quite long as well. How much like was cut in the process of making it? Like how much material did you have, and how much had to be scrapped?
But that to be fair, the writing process is, in terms of like fully fledged songs, we there was only really, I'd say like a couple maybe that didn't make it on But in terms of demos and ideas for songs and the way that we build them is we put together separate ideas and start marrying things together and like in terms of that there was fucking I couldn't tell you it was there's a lot there's a hard drive somewhere with a load of shit riffs on it I think. But
Graveyard.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll dig up those bones at some point probably. It's happened in the past.
Yeah, that was literally my next question. Answer that for me. Yeah, like how often are you digging up old material, and did you do it for? If you did you do it for this one?
No, I don't think we did it for this one. No, I think
everything
a
was
lot
like
of the
fresh.
time it's kind of it was all pretty much brand new. I mean, a lot of the time when we use something from like an idea from the past sort of thing, it's not necessarily that we'll just straight up use that riff or that idea. It's like it's usually like an idea in terms of like I don't know, like a particular type of song structure, or like something as simple as that, or like just basing a song off one riff, not necessarily having a riff, but that idea would then be used on the next record, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Finally got around to doing that thing we've been wanting to do for a little while. There's always loads of little ideas like that flying around.
No, that's good to hear. There's just like the cogs are always just like spinning, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
And one thing I do want to talk about as well, because you guys are, I really do struggle to compare you guys to like other bands. So it's like going back to if I'm recommending someone, it's like, who do I say they sound like? I can't really say. I mean, at one point, like everyone, like back in day, everyone Dillinger was a word that popped up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like Dillinger, and I'm struggling to hear any of that sort of influence on like this new stuff.
Yeah.
So like, are there any like major, like influences that went in specifically, to Sleepless?
Musically, I think we all pull from different places completely. I don't have like any main influences or inspirations for the album myself. I mean, people, if they listen to the artist that I listen to, they might be able to be like, oh yeah, that sounds a little bit like that person maybe. Or for a lot of the ideas that I get from artists, I listen to quite a lot of like jazz and stuff like that. So I'll be using that for like ideas for layering guitar parts maybe, or vocals, or
like structure, like stuff.
Yeah, just you like seeing how they build a song and being like, how could I do something like that, but like palm reader.
Yeah, just like heavy.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing with I think the Dillinger thing's like the only part of Dillinger that we were ever really compared to, I think, was like the quote unquote spazzy side of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like even Dillinger do fucking so much more than that. So I don't know. I guess even like people think they're a bit of a one-trick pony, maybe, or maybe they're not giving them credit. But they're fucking great, man. It's not a bad band to be compared to at all.
Exactly, like one of the greats.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know, right? They'll come back. They'll come back. I reckon they'll come back at some point.
I don't know, man. They're getting older. No, I'm joking. They'll do it. They just can't go as mad as they used to. That'll be
exactly.
It. There's only so long you can do that kind of shit, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna be there, like literally gonna be playing in like wheelchairs or some shit. Like,
yeah, I feel like they probably have at some point. One of them's broken a leg and had to play in a wheelchair or something. Or was that fucking Dave Grohl or something? Was it?
Yeah, it was Dave, isn't it? Yeah, on his fucking like throne.
Yeah.
So one big thing that probably came as a shock to the entire scene. I really don't want to dig too much into it, but obviously, when Sleepless was announced, it was going to be put out on Holy Raw.
Yeah.
Shit happened. Okay. And one thing I do want to ask is just like, obviously you had the album ready to go, you signed, shit's in place. And like, obviously when shit hit the fan, what was kind of going through you and like the band's heads at the time? Because obviously, you know, you've been grafting on this album and it all potentially went to shit.
Yeah.
But luckily you have a new home
We
with
do,
Justine
yeah.
and Sammy on Church Road Records. So yeah, what was it like? Just like the switch.
It was a pretty wild week to 2 weeks, or the month I'd say. Yeah, was pretty wild, but it was, without going too
Yeah,
far
we don't.
into it,
Yeah.
it was just, for us, it was a question of like not necessarily damage control. It was just like, okay, well, how are we going to move forward? What's the plan? What's the next thing? And like the option to go with Sammy and Justine came up very quickly.
Yeah.
And was something that we were willing to do straight off the bat. So it was all quite like quick and I don't want to say easy, but like it wasn't too bad at all. Like ultimately, we've the best outcome is what we found.
Sure.
Ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. So, and like, because obviously, you know, Justine was at Holy Raw, and I can't imagine it changed too much, but like, has the working dynamic at all any big differences?
No, not at all. Like Justine and Sammy are both fucking great. And we've known them, like they're from Woking as well. Like we've known them since day dot. So like it was just it was a fucking no-brainer to just go with them, you know. They're like, they work so hard for the bands that they have on their label. And it's been nothing but professional.
Yeah.
Super quick, super simple, very like knowledgeable and very willing to get shit done. So yeah, it's great, man. I'd highly recommend them.
Yeah.
As people and as a label.
Oh, no, that's really good to hear, because like when that did happen, like everyone was just like, fucking hell, like I felt sorry for just like guys like you guys and other bands who were just like in the middle of the album cycle. Like
yeah, it was kind of just like and in all honesty, the first reaction from us was just like, fuck's sake, like another thing that's happened to fucking Palm Reader on a, like, because every release something happens, there's always some sort of a cock up along the line, and it just felt like a real quote unquote Palm Reader thing. But yeah, no, it worked out.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that's really sick to hear. And one thing we briefly touched on about the beginning, 10-year mark. How does that feel? 10 years of Palm Reader, almost. Or is it 10? Is it actually 10 years?
Yeah, it is. I think it. When was the first?
Bad Weather came out I thought it was 2012. Bad Weather came out.
Yeah, I can't remember when the band officially started. Like we were like dicking around in a practice room, like I think late 2010, early 2011. So yeah, 10 years.
Yeah. So yeah. It's a long ass time. It's a long ass time to like be in a band.
You're fucking telling me, jeez.
Like, and I feel like when Braille came out, like I feel like you finally, like, quite a lot of heads were turned, and now with this release, it's like oh shit, like it's oh, okay. So
yeah, we've been super lucky with every release that it's been like the reaction's been amazing. Like not just like through press, but in general. And the reactions are getting bigger every time. So we like the way things have gone. In my mind, it's like if we release another one, it'll just be bigger and better again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the drive at the minute for me. I'm just like, well, fuck it, let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, like, I feel like, you know, like there probably been many times where like the towel could have been thrown in, but like what's kind of like, you know, the key to your like success, the longevity of the band? Because going back 10 years, man, 10 years, like crazy.
Yeah, I think it's stubbornness. A lot of it is stubbornness. We've always had a catchphrase that we're too stubborn to die. Whilst a lot of the other bands that we came up with out of the afterbirth of the Gallows era,
yeah,
they've all kind of disbanded and got proper jobs and had kids and got married.
the real world normies.
Yeah. And we're still clinging on to it, you know. No, I'm joking. We're very much enjoying ourselves, and we feel like we're much better for sticking to it, you know.
What's been like any key highlights for you, like personally, you know, in you know, the past decade of it. Like, obviously, new album like is probably the best yet. Like, but just looking back on that 10 years, man. Like, any highlights?
Yeah, man. There's loads. Touring in general, I guess, is crazy. We played some fantastic like European tours, and all like spending the summer in a van with your mates on tour. And like, it sounds really simple and generic and like classic being in a band, like,
Yeah.
but it is like, we've done tours where we took tents with us and like just stopping in fields and camping in fields in Europe and stuff like that, and like that kind of stuff. Like, no amount of money would get that.
Yeah.
You
That's balling on a budget. That is.
Yeah, man. But we've always done that.
Yeah.
We've never made any money.
No, but that's good. That's good though, because like, you know, here's to 10 more. It's 10 more.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, there's obviously like highlights, like fucking playing Brixton with Glassjaw and stuff like that, and it's and all the festivals we've done and all that. But I mean, honestly, just like spending this amount of time with my best mates and just and making music.
Yeah,
that's
it. Super cool to hear. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I was about to say us. It's literally just me. But
nice.
Before we like plug the album and everything at the end, one final question. Obviously, yeah, 2020's been shit, but a lot of sick music has come out, including yours. Any releases that you've been listening to this year that have came out and that you've just, you know, liked?
Oh yeah, for sure. Fucking hell, I listen to a lot of music.
Yeah, you do.
I spend like at any given time, like there's music playing. There's a band called The Breathing Effect, put out a record called Photosynthesis. It's kind of like, it's more like along the lines of jazz and stuff like that though. It's out there. It's cool though, really dreamy, almost like shoegaze jazz kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Loathes record's fucking great.
It is fucking great. Yeah.
Don't need to tell anyone that though.
No,
really.
No.
They don't need more fucking promotion. Jesus Christ.
They know how sick it is.
They're doing all right. Yeah, Haggard Cat put out a fucking record, which is a banger. Leanne Havas put out a record, which is great as well.
Yeah.
In terms of rock bands, though, I don't know. Just fucking go out there and try and listen to something and find it. I'm not going to hold your hand for you.
Fair enough. Mainly for them. I've listened to way too much music this year. This is mainly for anyone that stumbles across this anyway. So, who's been living in a hole, you know.
That's what we like.
But yeah, again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Not at all, man. Thank you.
But yeah, plug shit. Tell the people what you've got coming up or what you have at the moment, you know.
Well, first of all, buy the fucking record. I mean, what are you playing at?
Yeah. There.
Everyone keeps going on about it, and you don't have it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We've just announced a couple of shows in December 2021. One in Nottingham at Rescue Rooms, and one in London at the Garage.
Looking forward to that Nottingham one. I'm very keen for that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good, and they're like the biggest headline shows we've done in the UK.
Yeah.
In terms of venue size, anyway.
Yeah.
So those are exciting. Tickets are up online. We've got merch and shit as well, so buy that, I guess.
Merch and shit as well. There we go. What more could you ask for? There we go.
Yeah.
New record and merch.
I don't want to beg you to do it, you know.
Nah, it's got to be done though. It's got to be done.
It's true.
Right, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far through, be sure to like, subscribe, all that bullshit. Loads of links in the description if you want to follow as well. Check out Sleepless by Palm Reader because it slaps, and maybe check out other videos or not. Do what you want. Yeah, do what you want. I'm not going to force you to, but it'd be very appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see me talk to someone next, let me know in the comments. If you want to tell me how shit I was, tell me in the comments. That's it.
day, evening, whatever.
Just fucking whatever, innit?
Innit? Just like... Right, we're gonna cut it there. Let's cut it there now.